Do I have any stories for Disability Pride Month? Yes, absolutely, although be warned, this story is a bit of a sad one. Let me tell you about Shackshoone, aka John Newmoone, who came from South Asia and lived in London in the 17th century. He had a parasitic twin growing out of his chest or side. It's described as a child, so it was smaller than him, we think, although we don't know how much smaller. And it was joined to him at its neck or shoulders, so it didn't have a head, basically. We don't have a picture of Shackshoone, we just have a couple of written descriptions. So Shackshoone and his brother Muhammad are from South Asia, probably India, in the 17th century, and in 1685 he and his brother sign a contract with an East India Company officer called Sir Thomas Grantham to work for him as servants for 6 months. They both get on a ship and they come back to London with him. Grantham is doing some kind of exhibition of Shackshoone, showing him to paying people, whether that's the public or friends, we're not quite sure. We do know that Shackshoone is not seeing that money. When their 6-month contract is up, Grantham won't let them go. We often think of enslaved people in this period as being from Africa, but actually a quarter of all the runaways in London in the 17th century were from South Asia. Now, some people in this period believed that you could only enslave non-Christians, so Shackshoone gets baptised at some point, whether that was sincere or an attempt to get out of Grantham's grasp, we don't know. But it doesn't work. In November 1686, both Shackshoone and Muhammad run away. Shackshoone is recaptured and there's a court case about it. Shackshoone argues that Grantham should either pay him or let him go, since he'd been keeping him like a slave and got a great deal of money by showing him, so showing him off, doing exhibitions of him. The judge rules that Grantham was well in his rights to recapture Shackshoone, whether he's been baptised or not. We don't know what happened to Muhammad, whether he got away or whether he died at some point. He does not come up in the court case. In 1688, Shackshoone runs away again, and Grantham advertises for his recapture in the newspaper. It must have been incredibly brave of him to do this. He would stand out immediately. You can't blend in to any place in England as a South Asian man with a parasitic twin. That's all we know for definite about Shackshoone. There is one possible other lead. In 1703, there's a church in Sunbury that records the burial of, quote, a Negro servant man of Sir Thomas Grantham. There's no name given, but people did use that word to describe both Africans and South Asians in this period, so that could be Shackshoone. We know that Grantham himself is buried in St Edburgh's in Bicester, and he left a lot of money in his will for this fancy memorial of himself, which calls him most generous.